directly to their new duty station with their new job, and then they'll get the training there. So that means that there's no unnecessary training events, there is no rifle training, there's no climbing through the mud, and yes, that means no drill instructors.
For D-Day, what are the odds, y'all? And it gets a lot crazier. In just a few seconds, I'm going to show you some remarks from Pete and also from the president. But right before I do, I need to show you what's going on. So when I show you their remarks, it'll make sense. So the president just talked about how he sent 2 submarines over there by Russia, right? At the same time, Hamas has 48 hours left to accept the deal, or basically, with his backing, be obliterated by that other place in the Middle East. My friends, that's not all. He's also talking about a land invasion into Venezuela. Who in the world knows why? Well, we know why he told it. It's because the cartels. Speaking of, just a few hours ago, Yemen came out saying that they're going to start targeting our oil in the Middle East. You saw what I showed you, right? Putin already said he's done playing games with NATO, and also we're sending all these aircraft over to the Middle East again. While this is happening, pause it. What's going on? And guess what? The last time this happened a few months ago, Iran was attacked. Iran, shut up. And then the meeting with the 800 top military leaders in the U.S. meet in a fashion just like his speech right before D-Day. I mean, look at the background. What? It could not be more obvious. And this right here is just bizarre. It's like we're living a literal repeat. I just did a whole bunch of digging to see if these guys were related, and they're not. Maybe not by flesh, at least. This whole thing is very weird. And now, since you're up to speed, let me show you these remarks.
Truth. To ensure peace, we must prepare for war. From this moment forward, the only mission of the newly restored Department of War is this: warfighting.
And I leave you with this. What does it sound like he's insinuating?
Be your secretary. And I will continue to pray this prayer for each of you as you command and lead our nation's finest. Go forth and do good things, hard things. President Trump has your back, and so do I. You'll hear from him shortly.
Something huge.
All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Bakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and a few sisters out there. This is like foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. It's my third time trying to get this video done. This is Satan. So, as we can clearly see, something is happening, which we all are part of. We all understand what's going on. What's really happening, the stage is being set for the greatest defeat in human history to take place to Babylon the Great. All right, let me get a couple of scriptures. I can't believe I gotta do this again. But it is what it is. Challenge is accepted. Real quick, Romans 13 and 12. Sorry, 11. And that knowing the time that is now is high time to wake out of sleep. And what time it is, which obviously what he's saying, Ecclesiasticus 3:1. To everything there's a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Jumping down, it says, verse 8, a time to love, a time to hate, a time of war, and a time of peace. We're obviously in a time of war. This is why he's invoking the spirit of General Patton, which General Patton made that famous speech during D-Day. All right, you go type in famous speech for General Patton. General George Patton's most famous speech is his address to the U.S. Third Army on the eve of D-Day invasion in June 1944. So the war, the peace presidents, That's why I have to say it like that. Who has sat there in front of the UN and told the world that under his administration he has stopped 7 wars. He's about to go and set wars not only in the United States of America, not only to his neighbors in Latin America, Venezuela, for obvious reasons, like the man said, even war in the streets of America, sending the military in America. Okay, that speech was a multiple diversity speech that was done, and he said certain things in that speech to let people know in that room that expect nothing but what the title of the department that was just changed, war. All right, and like the Marine said, I was kind of stressing about that. The Marine said, if they do that, this is the biggest failure in human history because you're not preparing your people for that. And the majority of people, that's another Isaiah 60:2, it says, "For behold, darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people." So the majority of people out here are in La La Land. Okay, they completely unaware what's going on. Now they're feeling the trend that it's getting hard, ain't no jobs, none of that. But they still don't understand what's happening out there in the streets. Okay, they don't even know what's going on in their local facility, let alone worldwide GOP. All right, I said GOP. What's going on in the globe? They don't know what's going on around the world. Why is Trump preparing all these troops, which he's not preparing? That's another, like I said, that was another major thing. That's this whole boot camp. That's a major failure because you're not preparing your troops to go out there and war. And boot camp is the most important thing for any person to get in the military. That's introducing you to the military. When you first come into the military, the first thing they do, they shave off your beard. They shave off your beard and they shave off your head simultaneously. If you don't have a beard, they shave it off your head. Why? To break, showing this is a psychological thing. They're breaking you down. They're breaking you down so that when you be built up, you're being built up to a GI. All right. So these are people of war. And now they don't even have the privilege to be broken down properly, just to be thrown out in the mix to get grinded down. Like I stated in another video, film came out 2000, South Park, and there was a scene in South Park when they had the human shield. The human shield was nothing but Jake's in the front, and that goes into what that man had a dream about Jake getting slaughtered because they wasn't prepared. All right, these people are not prepared for what's to come. Jeremiah 51, and what was it again? 33? No, 30. Jeremiah 51 and 30. It says, "The mighty men of Babylon have forbeared to fight." There's no what was that thing called again? Patriotism being pushed out there. The spirit of patriotism is not out there. Because you got the majority of people that got something against Israel. And they were like, no, I'm not going to no war for Israel. I'm not sending my sons and my daughters. And people don't realize under the Biden administration, men and women can get drafted. All right. So you have a lot of YNs. You have a lot of bodies out there that's not willing, that's going to be sent out there. How are they going to be sent? I don't know. But they in that spirit. You have a lot of Babylonians right now in that spirit of, I'm not going to war. No matter what, I'm not going to go to war. So when they're going to be thrown in a meat grinder right away, they already lost. When you look at China, Russia, they consistently showing their military might. Young men running to be recruited. All right. But here, everybody is spoiled. Everybody out here don't know what to do with themselves. Okay. They think just because they play Call of Duty, they're expert in snipers. They think in the hood that because they gun each other down that they ready for the military, and even the military is not ready for the world's military. So when it all comes down to it, the men of Babylon is not ready for war. Okay, they're not ready. And Trump, his administration, is not preparing his people correctly. But all of that is because of the Most High. All right. Matter of fact, I saw that 23. It says Jeremiah 15:23. How is the hammer of the earth cut asunder? Proving that America is the hammer of the earth. Because Rome wasn't the hammer. Rome was controlling the known lands around the Mediterranean, and they even went to Britannia. But their influence wasn't around across the world. America has over 800 garrisons, what they call, which that's what they are, garrisons around the world, military bases. Okay. Oh, damn, I forgot where I got that information from. They said there's so much military bases in Japan. There's more military in Japan than any other. All right, unnecessary things. So, and what do you do with a hammer? You two things: you could build and you could destroy. So, Babylon is destroying the world. All right, when Scripture says cut asunder and broken, how is that Babylon become a desolation among the nation? Because America's gonna be the biggest desert. All right, I have laid a snare for thee. What is a snare? A snare is a trap. I got Isaiah 19:15 said the Lord have caused Egypt to err in every works thereof. Error, moving incorrectly. You built up a nation of spoiled, rotten kids. You built up a nation of not that much patriotism to them. So people out there, if they ever did decide to go in the military, there's no reward for that. They're not the military men and women today. Well, really, the men don't get praise, don't get the recognition that they do. You see how they treat the veterans out here? They treat the veterans like shit. So there's no there's no reason for people to go out there and fight for this place. If you're a military vet, you go out to whatever war they caught, and you come back, like the Vietnam War, they was getting shitted on. Korean War, they was getting shitted. They was getting treated like pure shit, and the own government don't even treat them good. Okay, this is all that's happening under the America's government. I mean, the umbrella of America, which it goes into Sirach 26, 28. It says, "There be two things that grieve my heart, and the third maketh me angry. Sorry, a man of war that suffer poverty." Military men is the backbone of the U.S., but they get treated like shit. So there's nobody want to go in the military. So they have to do something in order to get majority of these people, these men, these worthless men, out in the military. However they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it. But we all know it's gonna be a draft. All right. This is why it says this. I have to bring this out. 2 Ezra 16:33. It says, the virgin shall mourn having no husbands. The virgin shall mourn having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn having no helpers. In the wars shall the bridegroom be destroyed. So the wars out of the country and the wars in the city is going to kill off majority of men. All right. So the Lord set up beautiful traps, man. Okay. The Lord set up beautiful traps. It says, back in Jeremiah 50:24, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou hast taken, O Babylon. So you're going to be taken by your own thing. Your own people are going to die. How you not send your military troops into, your recruits to boot camp, not knowing what the hell they're doing? That is the most dumbest thing ever. But these are the geniuses that runs this country. All right, that's concerned about your beard and a DEI. Let me get this one real quick.
When it comes to combat arms units, and there are many different stripes across our joint force, the era of politically correct, overly sensitive, don't hurt anyone's feelings leadership ends right now. For too long, we've promoted too many uniformed leaders for the wrong reasons, based on their race, based on gender quotas, based on historic so-called firsts. This administration has done a great deal from day one to remove the social justice, politically correct, and toxic ideological garbage that had infected our department, to rip out the politics. No more identity months, DEI offices, dudes in dresses.
All right. Everything he said was correct. Whatever the American politics should not affect military personnel. He also talks about the fat officers and all this other stuff. You're supposed to be in tip-top shape at all times. All right. You're supposed to PT. What they did throughout the years, they decreased it. They made it weaker. But the last thing that he said, dudes would dress. The dudes would dress. That's a Masonic thing. All right. This is top officers, which to be an officer, you got to go to college and you have to come from a pristine family. These guys are doing that. So this guy's a hypocrite just for saying that right there. All right. If I'm not mistaken, there's a form of hazing, and they will have men dressed up as women. Forgot the name of it, but that's all because it's a club. Okay, it's a freaking club. Oh, how can I forget? The TV show MASH. Right? You see how these devils are? So this is something that was practiced all the time. Let me see if I can find it. If anybody knows, there it is. Right over there, right there. Dudes with dress. Dudes with dress. When did MASH come out? 1972. So this always been a staple. All right. This is a grown fucking man that was wearing dresses. This man's he saw it. So yeah, he's right but this is what they do. Proving that these are less than. All right. So the Lord has set up a trap. This is why, going back to Jeremiah 51:30. Oh, there's another one. Jeremiah 48. Real quick, I gotta come back. 48:18, was it? No. It wasn't 18. It says the same thing. Mighty men. Jeremiah 51:16. No, not the one. Oh, no. Oh, the men of Babylon as women. Something like that. Jeremiah 50. No. I just seen it too. That's crazy. There it is. No, well, that's one of them, but it's not the main one. Jeremiah 50:43. The king of Babylon have heard the report of them, and his hands wax feeble. Anguish take hold of him, and the prongs as of a woman in travail. There's another one. Is it Man of Babylon? What? Let me see. I had it. I looked it up. Was it this one? Salakia. No. Let's see. Babylon women. No. Oh, actually, it was the same one. Jeremiah 15:30. It says, the mighty men of Babylon have been forbid to fight. They remain in their holes. They might have fell. They become as women. They have burned. They have burned, buried her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. So they're gonna be like as women in that day. So that spirit he's trying to remove, it was stitched and instilled into this place. All right, look at the TV show MASH, and I believe it was Vietnam. No, it was Korea, the Korean War. All right, look at this dude. I don't even know this guy's name. Look at this motherfucker. He's dressed like a woman, and it was all funny. It was all good. It was all entertaining. Who's leading that? Okay, so yeah, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai not only has set you up, he's about to he's embarrassing you, because that's an embarrassing thing. Here it is, you got Russia, China showing mighty men, and here in America you got men wear bras and shit. Okay, so yeah, they're trying to remove that, which is going to cause division amongst their ranks. They let anybody in, they're still going to let anybody in. Okay, it says, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, that was not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast strive against the Lord. So because America go out there boasting himself, bragging, being braggadocious, and saying how they tough guys and this, that, to the third, the Lord's about to bring it to you. All right. And scripture says, Isaiah 47:5, it says, oh, actually, well, Isaiah 47:3, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I would take vengeance and I would not meet thee as a man. So the Lord's not coming back in a flesh and bone. The Lord's coming back as angelic self, his glorious self. All right. As for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Sit thou silent and get thee in darkness, O the daughter of the Chaldees. When you go into the word Chaldees, it's not talking about the habiters. It says right here, those persons considered the wisest in the land. Okay. The precept to that is, let me get this real quick. Daniel 3:1. It says 2. Then Nebuchadnezzar, the king, sent to gather together the princes and the governors and the captains and the judges. I'm sorry. No, that's 1, 2. Then the king, 2 and 2. Then the king commanded to call all the magicians, astrologers, the sorcerers, and the Chaldees. So the Chaldees are the Magi's, the illuminated ones, all right, of today. So the Lord is coming to destroy those that's in a position of power, all right? Because what Trump did and what they're trying to do, they be trying to revoke that spirit. They're using witchcraft, all right? And it says, "For thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms." So they operate, the U.S. military operate in a feminine vibe because this is a feminine society, okay? And this is what's going to get them destroyed. And the Lord's not going to come back as a man, all right? The Lord's coming to conquer. And prior to the Lord's conquering, the U.S. the military of the world is going to lose majority of their people because they're not ready for what's to come. Okay, so with that being said, shalom to the elected nation Israel. Shalom.